on, cuz Dennis Rodman looking ass nigga, freaky face ass nigga, ugly ass nigga, Jaden Smith looking ass nigga, rocking face ass nigga, weak controller head ass nigga, donut stick head ass nigga, ugly face ass nigga, alien looking ass nigga, Raj off American Dad looking ass nigga, stupid fingers ass nigga, retarded fingers ass nigga, CDC fingers ass nigga, real slow, real stupid, real retarded fingers ass nigga, sideways, bush dead, upside down face ass.
Yo, what is up, guys? Back at it again with another What If. This What If is what if Isagi Yoichi was the ultimate player. Yes, I also got this idea from Yoho Sensei, and I'm not going to copy him. I'm just going to mix it in my own little spins. And make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Without further ado, let's get started with this video. Now, from this point on, we're going to start off with Isagi's or Yoichi's childhood. So, Yoichi, he's from a noble family, rich and famous, and also their family, they do like sports. Most of them do sports, especially his father. He did all kinds of sports. He did good in high school. He also played soccer, but he wasn't dreamt out for that because he had to carry on the family. He had to basically pursue their family business, sort of like Igarashi, but sort of like that. But him not staying in sports. So his father went on to be a businessman, just like the the Isagi basically the Isagi Sorry, I keep stuttering. My brain kind of froze. Isagi family. That's what I was trying to figure out to say. So basically, Isagi, Yoichi, he found sports fascinating. He always, dreamt of being in a World Cup, holding it when he was older. As he's hooked onto it. He told his father he wanted to play soccer, and his father said, "Oh, looks like you want to be like your pops." As they're sitting at the dinner table, his grandpa says, "So you want to play soccer, huh? Who is your basically saying who is your favorite player?" As he says, "I have a lot."
Sorry for the audio cut there, I was interrupted, but he says, "I have a lot of them, but my favorite is Noel Sama. My second is Ronaldo. My third one is also Messi and Neymar." So he says, "Oh, well, looks like you're a junkie to that, huh?" He says, "Yeah, I want to get started on it now." He says, slow down there, kid. Maybe in the summer I could teach you some things." As he says, "For now, you look up YouTube tutorials or whatever, how to play soccer and sign up for teams. You're in middle school, right? Think you should start now. I think maybe later you could be the best." As Yoichi, he's been tapping into his family's potential, especially in sports. That's where their potential is, almost like undefeatable. And even Isagi's grandfather is still good at it. So he would train with his father or his grandfather. One thing he notices that, they're so good at it. Why didn't they play sports? But, they had to pursue their family business. They stopped playing at 30 or at their late 30s or 40s. So they could do the business. So Isagi, he's basically, been training with them ever since. But also, he noticed that they're really egotistical. It doesn't matter what age you are, what size you are. They do not care. And otherwise, they also look like they run the field. When he gets on the field and feels their presence, it's almost demonic, scary. As he questioned both of them on this, because he's literally was 2v1 to them also. And he says, "Hey, why was your eyes changed? I look into it. It's all in the zone. You're in the zone. It looks like you're gazed out." It says, "Oh, well, basically, we've gone through this program before, me and your grandpa. We did this program, and each one of us had to defeat others. We had to devour them. And if you take these advice, don't let people devour you, take over you, scare you, intimidate you, and also nonetheless beat you. Don't let them win over you at anything. You is going to be first place at anything. Second place is technically losing. So devour all of them and don't let them take over your status or fame. And you're the best player there. You're the king of the field. You are the ultimate player. As Isagi, he took this to heart. And with that, he's become more different. He's also been training each and every day. As his family, basically bought him, they got him a soccer field, and he also got training equipment, for like weights, treadmills, soccer. He even played with AIs, and also he had goalposts, like a rebound goalpost. You know how you shoot a basketball inside the basketball goal and it passes it back to you? Sort of like a tennis ball also. So yeah, it's basically like that. So he's just been kicking it. And he got into like spatial awareness, sorry for my pronunciation. Spatial awareness. It looks like he's a god, just God looking over the field. As he makes him more aware. And he could go into other people's blind spots. He also has off the ball, where it's basically when his opponents don't have the ball in possession, and go in their blind spots with a surprise attack and takes the ball. Also got a new skill, also direct shot. He puts so much power in a kick, and he can aim it. It's almost like he knows where he gonna hit it at. And he also have goal sense. So either if him or his teammates going to make a goal, if he just predict where they're making the goal, he just give it to them. He passes the ball to them. And sort of like how he gave it to Kunigami, something like that. Also, what is it? Oh, he also has metavision and flow state. Flow state is where he uses all of his skills in unison. Makes him the most ultimate player ever, the best on the field.
And when I tell you, he is a monster, a monster at that. So, Isagi, he's basically been like well known. He's a well known person. He even showed people how he basically showed them how to play football better. Basically, football's another term is soccer, in European or Asian or Japanese or Chinese, other foreign places than the U.S. But the most, specific one used is soccer. So yeah, it says, so I'm going to teach you guys how to play soccer. Basically teaches them that also. But other than that, his fans notices that he's really egotistical. If he goes against something. But, Isagi, he's actually a beast. He's a monster. His speed, his kicking strength alone, and it's also his height is pretty tall. Man's about 6'3", already in what is it, 9th grade? That's high school. So we time skip, and you did Isagi. He's basically going against what is it? I forgot the high school, Masukaze. As it's Ichiran versus Masukaze High School. As Isagi's basically thinking of nationals. As he's dribbling and everything. As he doesn't feel a goal sent for not any one of his teammates. They're really weak. He's the best there is. And that's his only weapon. He is the weapon of the team. Isagi is basically their trump card. As, things are going to turn out really, really different. As Isagi, he shoots and he scores. It's 2-0. As the, tables have turned in this, what if. As, everyone is jumping around. As each and on they're happy. As we also got some Isagi's fangirls. There's Kira Ryosuke fangirls and Yoichi Isagi fangirls. You wouldn't think Isagi would have fame? No, he would. But he's only famous in that place. I think they're in Japan. Yeah, it is Japan. I was thinking Korea, but yeah. In Japan, he's famous, but only in that neighborhood. He doesn't want himself. What was that? Hold on. Sorry for the background noise. I don't know what happened, but yeah. So he doesn't want his stuff to spread quickly. And so, if there is ever that program that his grandfather and his father told him about, people won't already know what he's good at. And that's what he keep it like. So, he win and whatever, and you basically have their interview. And he says, I will win the World Cup. As, everyone's like, wow. You are a mysterious one, aren't you, Isagi? Says, yeah. As he walks off, and, next day afterwards, he gets a letter, as it's for the Blue Lock program, as he shows it to his father and grandpa. As his father says, so, you also got it, huh? He says, what do you mean? Says that's the same product, not product, but project. He says this is the same project me and your grandfather played. And he says, oh, really? So that's how you guys are so good. He says, yep. But there's going to be at least 300 people there. And they're only going to be aimed at one thing, a striker. And they only gotten that for out of like decades, each generation. Noel, Sama, Messi, Neymar, all of them, they all had to compete in that. But if you lose at that, you will lock off. Basically, you leave. And you won't even be able to play for the World Cup or play for Japan. So you'll have to move to a new country to play for the team there. As he says, so, over to you, Grandpa. Says, oh, me and him lost, basically. We lost to each one of them. Well, your grandfather lost to someone back in his, generation. But after that, it was me. And I lost to Ronaldo. He says, oh, so that's why you're so good. As he says, yup. But, we also had to pursue the family business. So we'll all ask them to lock off anyway. Or forfeit the thing. He says, you could really do that? He says, I don't know. But they let us. But, there's this people that, runs it. And it's called basically the Ego family. Says most of them already have trained most of the top. And they also been selected for each decade or generation supposed to run this. And they also got like his son. Well, I know his grandfather, but his grandfather got a grandson. His name is Jinpachi. I suppose he's going to be the next one there, as I'll give you each and every intel out there. He says, so, first one is going to be a game of tag. Don't get touched. But, you can get touched, but even if you do, just kick the ball at someone. And also, if you still have the ball on you and you're still tagged while, the minutes are up, you're done for. You lock off. Like, they won't give you a second chance on that one. They literally have to lock someone off on the first one. So after that, there'll only be 275 players. And then your rank is basically what type of food or quality food you get. So after his decision, he'll basically make it for you. As, all of them are kind of biased. They do have biased decisions. So I can't really say much. As Isagi says, oh, okay. As, after the 2 weeks of training with his father and grandfather, he's all prepped up. He's getting more like, his stats has gone up. His category of speed and really strength. So Isagi, he says, looks like I'm ready. As he goes to to the soccer, place, which is a blue lock. As he looks up, he says, so this is it. As he hears someone by him, as he senses it, he says, Ryosuke, what are you doing here? He says, Kira, looks like you're here too, so you got the envelope. He says, of course. He says, so, it's like you're good enough for them to, join. He says, I guess so, they gave me it. He says, so, what are you going to be doing? He says, I already know most of this intel. My grandfather and my father actually did this project. But he says, so, why haven't there been known? He says, because they have to do the family business. They have to pursue and take over anyway. I might be next, but who knows? I just want to take over. I don't want to take over. I want to play soccer. Soccer is my dream. But, Isagi, he has mixed emotions. Like, sometimes he can care less about soccer. Because what he thinks about soccer is about scoring more goals than your opponents. It's either live or die. And also, he doesn't think much of the soccer ball. He sees it as a lifeless spherical shape that could lead him to fame and success. As, he has, a different type of mindset than in canon. And so, Isagi, he's like, all right, Sal, all right, enough of the chit-chat. Let's basically go in. As Kira says, so, what did they tell you? Says basically there's going to be 300 people here, best of the top people, and your rank decides what type of food you're going to eat, what type of training rooms you're going to be in also, and what team you're going to be on. But, I heard that there's a guy basically selected through the thing to help people, which his name's going to be Jinpachi Ego. He's going to be the one running this Blue Lux facility. Also, after one person loses, it's going to be 275 players left. And, out of one person got to lock off, which means leave. And the first game is going to be a game of tag. That's all the intel I could give you for now. And he says, oh, thanks for the heads up, Isagi. As he says, you're welcome. And he's just sitting there and he says, all right, that looks like that should be the Ego guy. Ego. And he says, hi, I'm Jinpachi Ego. I'm going to be the runner for this stupid facility. And yes, this is the Blue Lock project. This is going to be a project where we selected 300 people and only one shall lead to the U20 World Cup. As they said, World Cup. He says, yes, we're looking for the best striker. As he says, you basically what this person said. You train a midfielder, golder, and a forward, but it's one thing you cannot possibly tame is a striker. They're literally unpredictable. So if you walk through this door, you lose all your common sense. And what we need here is ego. So walk through the door, lose all your common sense, run wild, or you could leave and probably not have a good chance of playing for the soccer Japan team. So the choice is yours. As everyone, they're basically thinking it through, but Isagi, he just says, I will go. As he says, so this guy looks special, but he doesn't know he's 299. I basically did this so I could see what is basically going to be his rank, his potential. I know his potential is pretty high. Also know about his father and grandfather, so I got to start him off somewhere. And so everyone, they run through. As we get to the bus, they transport them to the Blue Lock building. As they're there, he gets like his clothes. As he says, so looks like I'm 299 Z, so I guess I'm in room Z then. As he walks through, he's just like walking through the door, and he gotta duck his head because he's tall still. As everyone's looking at him, says, dang, look at this dude, he's a behemoth, look at him. As Kira walks up, he says, oh, Isagi, looks like I'm going to be in the same room with you also. He says, I didn't know I was the last rank here, almost the dead last. He says, so, what's up? He says, oh, you got a higher rank than me. He says, yeah. It's like, it's about skill after all. And he says, yeah. But he says, well, nice to know that I share a room with someone I already know. He says, right. As Isagi, after a split second, he dodges. As everyone's like, wow, how do you dodge that? He says, reflex. And that is one of Isagi's skill anyway. So everyone's like, oh, what is this, some freaking Dragon Ball Z? He says, no, just reflex. I trained my stats almost to the max. As they said, oh, so you were training before you got here? He said, yeah, but Kunigami, he says, my bad, I threw my shirt too hard. He says, here. Now cut like 2 minutes later, as not Kunigami, but Isagi, he puts on his Blue Lock program suit as they're getting started. As we don't get ego, he says, well, hello, diamonds in the rough. You're gonna be playing a game of tag. As Kira looks to the side of Isagi, he says, wow, this guy was really right. What is his father, his grandfather told him much? What else does he know about this? He has the high advantage here, as his family, bloodline, generation been through this project. They must have gave him a lot of heads up. I need to watch out for him. As he says, so looks like grandpa's father was right. As he says, looks like I'm going to be having fun time, and I also got the higher advantage. He says, but my rank is the only one that's not doing me justice right now. As he's looking at everyone, he's trying to see what's their weapon. But he says he's just going to figure that out later. As he says, well, there's going to be a few minutes on the clock, as it's 113 seconds, which is equivalent to 226 seconds. So ask me why. I Googled it. All right. So he says here, diamonds in the rough. If one of you guys have this ball in possession and is it by the time's up, you're locking off. As E gets the ball to Igarashi. As Igarashi, he says, all right, looks like he chose me first since my rank is basically the lowest here. He says, all right then, let's get started. So, he kicks the ball to everyone trying to at least hit them. As Isagi says, when I have a little fun, since I know I'm actually the best here. So, he takes the ball from, and now Isagi's it. He's just kicking it to everyone. And after he kicks them, he takes the ball again from them as he spins around and kicks them. Also, he goes for a kick at Bachira. But Bachira, he gets up and kicks the ball at Isagi. As Isagi's it, he says, well, looks like you got a reflex. A fast one at that. Looks like you're special. I like it. As Bachira says, alright, shall we? He says, why not? As the tension in the room starts to rise. As it's Isagi versus Bachira. As everyone's just looking at him. But they say Isagi is kind of faster. He's better at, the running, the kicks, and precision. He's precise with every movement he has. The only, trump card that Bachira has is dribbling. As Bachira, he says, all right then. It's like, I'm gonna have to, awaken in the inner beast, the monster within me. As he gets more egotistical. He's in a zone, and you can see like his eyes starts being scribble scrabble basically. And he says, "All right then, now." As he's go like boom, as the ball hit Isagi. As Isagi says, "You thought that did something to me?" As he hits, he basically like kicks on Bachira towards Igarashi. As he hurts his like ankle again, he says, "Oh wait." As Isagi says, Should I leave you? Make you leave? Says no. I should aim for the strongest one here. As he goes for a kick at Bachira, but he hurries up and kick it to Ryosuke. As he's trying to get him. As he kicks it to Isagi. As Isagi, he receives the ball. Now he's in his flow state. As each and every skill that he has is activated. As Bachira says, boom! As Isagi, he kicks it. As it hits, Kira in his face. And he says, Isagi, he says, really thought we were friends. We were nothing but rivals and teammates. It's the survival of the fittest in this Blue Lock program. And I am going to be number one. I'm going to be the striker. All right? I'm going to be in the World Cup. One day you lowlifes are all going to be looking on TV while I hold the trophy of the World Cup, being the first person ever in decades to at least win one. As they're like, okay then. As everyone's like, they have a POV of Isagi. Like, this man is really egotistical. Also, he has a different perspective. He doesn't think of 11 men on a team. As Jinpachi's watching, he says, so, his father and grandfather, And he says, wow, looks like they gave him a heads up. But nothing's going to be changing. I'm just leave it at that. And let it just go like a fly. So let's see how more he progresses. As, he says, well, Diamonds in the Rough, you all done well. And losers, luck off. As Kira, he says, what? He says, oh yeah, you got to luck off. You got to leave. He says, but Bachira and Isagi came out of nowhere. He's basically screaming at. They came out of nowhere. What the heck? I came here just to prove you wrong. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'll leave, but I'll come back. He says, this stupid thing. I can't let this dumb program define who I am and what I'm going to become. I'm going to be the best one in the world, probably in the country. And he says, all right, bye-bye. Enough with the race quitting. He says, wow, Isagi. Looks like you're the best one in this team, huh? But I set you right here to see how much you will progress. I also know about your family bloodline also. But, I won't change any events. I'm just going to let this happen. But guys, peace out.